Hello everyone, time again for another Willie's Ramblings and Pickup video. Well, it's been a while since I made one of these videos. I've been traveling a lot for work, and I've had a lot of time to do really much of anything. I'm pretty behind in doing my podcasts and making my Arcade USA videos and stuff, but when the job calls, the job calls. Anyway, I got quite a few pickups since it's been so long since I've made one of these videos. Before we get to that, first, the retro jump box that I'm doing is making its way around the country. Right now it's heading over to another friend of mine, Nick DeBarco. Goes by the name Atari Man on the Retro Junkies Network. He writes a lot of different articles, like for Channel 3 is one of his articles he does. He does a bunch of other stuff. Pretty interesting guy to read his material. But he's getting the next box, and basically what the box is I stuffed it full of retro games. And you take out what you want and you put stuff back in and mail it to the next guy. It's kind of a fun little thing to do. Also, I finally got video cart number 9 out for the Channel F files. So that's available to listen to now over on iTunes. I've also got a video of the gameplay for video cart number 9, which is Drag Strip. I didn't call it Drag Race this time. For the longest time, I kept wanting to call it Drag Race. I don't know why. But that's out there and available now. The contest I'm hosting for the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, called Ferg Quest, has completed. 3 episodes have come out of the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast where the audio clues were given. So now it's in the stage where you have to send in the secret phrase, which is 4 words that you have to mail in to Ferg, and whoever guesses the correct phrase first wins the Atari Flashback 5. So looking forward to see how that turns out now. I've been busy messing around making little arcade ball sticks for the Coleco Flashback controller. Got a red one now. Kind of cool. Not too bad. Something to play around with. As a lot of you know that watch my stuff, I'm not 100% happy with the ColecoVision Flashback. It's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some good games on there, and you know, I just wish they would have done a little bit better. But, oh well, that's just me. No big deal. So, Radio Shack. A lot of you probably know that they're going out of business. They got like a 50 to 75% off sale going on right now. You need to go down there, especially if you want to get into podcasting, you want a good mic. They have the blue Snowball mics on sale. Got this one for 75% off. You can't beat that. This is a great little mic for podcasting. So you may want to check out your local Radio Shack and get yourself one of those. All right. Also, my buddy Mike Kennedy, who came out with Retro Magazine, is getting ready to do his Retro VGS game console. They got a Facebook page for it right now. They're supposed to have a Kickstarter here pretty soon. Basically what it is, it's going to be like a retro-themed game console that'll have new retro-inspired games on cartridges. So this will be a cartridge-based system, not online at all, nothing like that. And he's got some real big name developers coming on board. You know, old guys from Atari, Activision. We got Konami, Capcom. There's a lot of interest in writing games specific for this console. So this console is going to have a lot of exclusive games on it that you won't be able to get anywhere else, which is going to be kind of cool. So other than that, let's get to the retro pickups. We'll get it started. First thing, this isn't really a retro pickup. A friend of mine, Indie Soul, who does the Greatest American Hero podcast and Stalking the Retro, told me about these. They are the Red Samurai wireless controller for the Android tablets, Bluetooth. And supposedly these things are the bomb. They're really good. And right now, GameStop has them. Well, it says $12.97 on this box, but no, they're $8. That's not a bad price for a really good $8 Bluetooth controller. I'm going to do some experimentations today with this. This is supposed to be his, but I told him I want to do some experimentation, see if I can connect it to my computer. Heh. Anyway, also, pickup-wise, I found a complete in box Anthracite Neo Geo Pocket Color. Awesome. This thing's cool, man. I just wish it had a backlit screen. This thing is awesome. So I'm pretty happy to find that. Now the next thing I picked up some silver Odyssey 2 controllers. Cool. These are the ones that have the 9-pin plugs on them. The later models of the Odyssey 2 had removable controllers instead of being hardwired. These are a little bit better joystick. I've tried them out on my modded Odyssey 2 where I added 9-pin ports to it, and they work really well, better than the original ones. So I was pretty happy to find these for my Odyssey 2. Next thing I picked up for my Odyssey 2 collection, got a lot of stuff for Odyssey 2 this week. I picked up electronic table soccer. Yeah, big whoop. I'm trying to, build my Odyssey 2 collection up, so that's the reason why I got it. Next game I picked up, which isn't bad, is I found Demon Attack for the Odyssey 2. And it's actually quite a bit of fun. It's not too bad. It's a little lacking graphic-wise because it's on the Odyssey 2, but considering it plays really nice and it looks really good as well. I really enjoy Demon Attack. I've got it for my Atari 2600, the Atari 8-bit computer. I got it on the Intellivision. Got that game all over the place. I just can't keep from buying it. Next game I picked up for my Odyssey 2 is Casino Slot Machine. Now this is not too bad of a slot machine simulation. A little hard getting used to the, what you're supposed to do with the controls and stuff, but I guess when I read the manual, it was much easier for me to figure out. I don't read manuals. But it's a really good slot machine simulation. Pretty fun to play. Not bad. Not bad. Next thing I picked up from Odyssey 2 was Las Vegas Blackjack. Now, this game has the most simple controls. You type in amount you want to wager, and all you do is answer yes or no. You want to hit or you don't want to hit. Yes, no. That's it. 2 keys. Yes, no. Yes, no. But it's still okay. I like blackjack games, so I was happy to get that. And then the next thing I picked up is a factory-sealed pachinko for the Odyssey 2. Now you're saying, okay, it's a factory-sealed. How are we seeing the gameplay video back here? That's because I'm using an Odyssey 2 emulator. I didn't want to open this up to put it in my Odyssey 2, so I used my emulator. So the stuff you see for the Odyssey 2 back here, all these games are on my emulator because I was too lazy to pull the Odyssey 2 out of the shelf. Next up, we have a really awesome homebrew game for the Atari 8-bit computers. I picked up Venture, the arcade game Venture by Exidy. This is the bomb. I'm very impressed with this game. It plays really well. The controls are spot on, very responsive. Music is absolutely wonderful. They did a great job with the music on the Atari for this game, well, mainly because it has that good music chip in it anyway. But what's really, really neat about this game is the programmers added another feature. Of course, you have the 3 main dungeons, just like the arcade, so you have a total of 12 rooms that you go through. Then there's another level of 12 rooms, which is challenging. They're a little bit harder to play. You got more enemies and stuff, and a little bit more aggressive at coming at you. So it's like an advanced version of Venture. But to top it all off, the programmer also gave you the ability to strafe fire, which you never could do in the arcade game. Basically, wherever you pointed Winky is where he would fire. Now what you can do is, whatever direction you're facing, you hold down the fire button. You can move Winky around any direction you want, and he'll still fire in that same original direction. Man, does it make the game a whole lot more easier to play when you can strafe fire at the enemies. I've been really enjoying the heck out of it. So far, I think this is my favorite version of Venture. Even though it wasn't an official release, it's a homebrew. This is great. I got it from AtariSales.com. They have quite a few other cartridges there as well. Not only Venture, they have some other Atari 8-bit cartridges there that you could buy, and they have some. And I think they have another homebrew there too. Tron. I think they got Tron over there as well for the Atari 8-bit. So yeah, check out their website. They also have 2,600 games and 1,700 games and stuff on there as well. The guy who runs this, Lance, really friendly. He mailed this out fast. I was pretty impressed. So I'll be buying stuff from him again for my 8-bit. Next thing I picked up for the Game Boy, yeah, Joust and Defender for the Game Boy Color. Ooh, get a little closer. There we go. Joust and Defender, Game Boy Color. Got 2 games. Duh. Joust, yeah, and Defender. Oh, yeah. What's really neat is these things are pretty much almost exactly like the arcade game. Even the sound sounds really similar. Defender is a blast to play. I've always liked Defender. And they did a really good job on this cartridge. They have a regular Game Boy cartridge too of this, which is black and white. This is for the Game Boy Color, so it's in full color. This is from my buddy Ian, who does the Great Bit blog. I sent him the wrong one. He wanted this one and not the one I sent him, so at least I found this one now. And Joust? Joust is awesome on here. A lot of fun to play. Joust is a great arcade game anyway. But on the Game Boy Color, it plays well. And yeah, I'm playing badly on the screens back here because I'm looking through the viewfinder of my camera, and I got my Game Boy Advance laying flat on my desk trying to play it like this from above. Can't play too well like that. So, yeah. Alrighty. Next game I picked up for my Atari Lynx is I picked up Turbo Sub. The only arcade port of this game to a home console or a handheld. Turbo Sub. This was an arcade game. A really neat arcade game. And it plays a lot like the arcade game. It's a lot of fun. I was very happy to find this and get it added to my collection. I don't have very many Atari Lynx games, especially boxed Atari Lynx games. So I'm slowly trying to build that collection up as well because I'm a big fan of the Atari Lynx. I had one when they first came out, and like a dummy, I sold it. So I recently, I think about a year ago, I picked up another one. And I got the case for it and everything. It says Atari Lynx on the case and all that good stuff. So I'm trying to build my collection back up and avoid the temptation of selling stuff. Got to get out of that madness. Everybody goes through that madness every once in a while. Now for my Intellivision system, I found a box copy of, oh, the box is all flipping, flopping, flooping all over the place. Whoa! Get in there. Found a box copy of Buzz Bombers. I know this is green, so it's blending into the background. Look, my face is gone. Anyway, Buzz Bombers for the Intellivision game system. Now this game is a lot of fun. First time I've ever played it. Basically, you have a little, like a spray can, insect spray can, and you're spraying the bees as they're building these hives and stuff up above you. Don't want them down to the bottom of the screen because they'll make a flower, which limits your movement to that side. So they can trap you towards the middle of the screen off to one side if you're not careful. Plus, you only have so many shots in your little spray bottle there. And as you spray it, you'll see it drop, the level drop inside, which is a cool effect. So you want to avoid doing rapid fires like you see numbnuts back here doing. Yeah, don't rapid fire, man, because once you're out of ammo, game over. Next thing I picked up for my Intellivision is a factory sealed Slam Dunk Super Pro Basketball. This game is awesome. I'm not a big fan of sports games, but I couldn't put this down. I was playing it like crazy, and yes, it's sealed. So how am I playing it back here? Emulator again. Well, not emulator. Intellivision Flashback. That's where this screen's coming from. Plays great on the Intellivision Flashback. If you like basketball, you got to try this game out. It's freaking awesome. It's got a whole bunch of little things you can do. You can manage your team, and You can build your own team from like a pool of 70 players. You got stats. It's awesome. This is a really good basketball game. I'm very impressed with it. Now we're going to move on to my Sega Saturn collection. First up for the Sega Saturn, I found a, what is this? Maximum Force. Pull the trigger. Gun game. Well, you can use your controller too. Not too bad. It has a lot of full motion video criminals in there and stuff. It's not too bad of a game. It's kind of fun. If you like those gun type games like Virtua Cop, I love Virtua Cop. I gotta find me another Virtua Cop. I don't have Virtua Cop. But anyway, like if you like Virtua Cop, you'd like this game. It's pretty neat. Next one I picked up is, why did I pick this up? Because I wanted to. Tetris Plus. Has some really good music on it. Has some other gameplay modes as well. You have like head-to-head, you have puzzle. You also could edit your own levels, make your own levels to try to, challenge somebody else to figure them out. So it's a pretty nice game. I like Tetris, and it plays really well on the Saturn. And the last thing I picked up from my Sega Saturn collection is Center Ring Boxing. A boxing game, yeah. Like I said, I'm not into sports games very much, but this was like a buck, so I picked it up, gave it a try, and it's actually not bad. It has a whole lot of stuff you can do. You can do training for your fighter, have them exercise, practice on the punching bag. You have stats that you can manage. It's really involved, and it's actually not bad at all. It's actually a pretty good boxing game. So I was pretty impressed with it. Now we're going to move on to some cartridges here. Found a Atari 2600 cartridge in the sale bin for 25 cents. Nexar, which you can't read because somebody wrote DP on there. Oh, BP. Read in there. Nexar, that way. Nope, that way. Kind of reminds me of a little bit of Tempest or Gyrus. You're actually shooting things that's coming out of the middle of the screen at you, and you're going around all over the place. Depending where you're at, depends on which way your shot will go. It always goes towards the center. And you want to avoid hitting the ships, of course, duh. But also when they explode, don't hit their explosions either, because that'll kill you as well. It's not too bad of a game. It's a little maddening, trying to control that crosshair all over the place, but it's not a bad game. It's pretty fun. And for once, I actually picked up some ColecoVision games. It's been a while since I found ColecoVision games. First up, I found 2010, the video game. The graphic action game is what it says on here. For the ColecoVision and Atom family computer system. Cool. What I can ascertain, I've not played it a whole lot yet, but you're repairing circuits. You'll see this thing bouncing around the screen. That's like a sunspot or a solar storm thing. If you're inside of one of the IC chips, when that passes over, it'll destroy that chip. Then you got to bring your little scanner up and put the right part back in to repair that circuit. And what you want to do is you want to complete the circuits to connect all the chips and not wrap back onto yourself. So you want to start at point A into point B without crossing over yourself again. It's got a lot of puzzle elements to it. And for when I was playing it, that's all I was doing. I'm sure there's probably more to the game as you get farther into it. But actually, I'm actually kind of enjoying this. So I'm looking forward to spending some more time with it. Next game I picked up for my ColecoVision is I picked up the original Pitfall. Love Pitfall. Love it on the 2600. It's one of those games I got for Christmas. Played it for hours on the 2600. Not too bad on the ColecoVision. The graphics are kind of funky looking. Color-wise, a little funky looking. But it plays really nice. It's not bad. It's got a real neat intro screen and stuff like that. David Crane's Pitfall. Pretty cool. So I got that. And then I got its sequel, Pitfall 2, on the ColecoVision. Love this game on the Atari 2600. And it plays just as well on the ColecoVision with some advanced graphics. Same basic gameplay. Controls really well. Really happy with this. these are really two great games. I've actually got a signed copy of Pitfall 2 by David Crane up on my shelf up there that my buddy Mike Kennedy gave to me. Awesome. Now we're going to move on to the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I picked up Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Really great port of Pac-Man for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. And what's really nice about the Neo Geo Pocket Color is it has a true micro switch joystick on it, or a little joy nub. Clickety, 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 clickety. Very responsive joystick. Plays a great game of Pac-Man on there. Now I've already got Pac-Man. This one's going to my buddy Ian of the Great Bit Blog. He was wanting this game. So that's not for me. Then for my PlayStation 1, I found, what is this? Project Overkill. 3D isometric, shoot everything. Which are kind of fun games to play. And I'm not doing with the darn in the gameplay back here, as you can see. Because I'm not used to the game yet. Games that don't use the analog control, I'm so used to using analog controls now that I can't go back to the D-pad very well for these earlier PlayStation games. I'll spend some more time with it. It has a lot of different weapons and everything you can destroy. It's a lot of fun. Now, yesterday I found a really interesting plug and play. It's the Rockem Sockem Robots plug and play game. Awesome. Got 2 buttons for each fist up here. And you got a joystick that you can control your little robot to move around the screen. And you have a 1-player game where you fight the CPU, classic mode. Or you have a 2-player game where you and a buddy can do the Rockem Sockem fights. There's also a tournament mode or a challenge mode where you fight different types of robots. Kind of like the movie Real Steel. But this thing's pretty cool. It was made by Mattel. And I think they discontinued these back in 2006. This is the first one I've ever seen. I've never seen them in the toy stores. Or anywhere else, matter of fact. It's the first time I've ever seen this. They didn't know if they were even out. So if you run across one of those, you like Rockem Sockem Robots, that's a cool alternative to have. Then the very last pickup, the very last one, for my Sega Dreamcast, I picked up Greatest Arcade Hits Volume 2. Lot of great games on here. Let's see, what games we got here? We have Moomintroll. Yeah! Now Moomintroll, for the Sega Dreamcast, looks and sounds exactly like the arcade version. Plays really well. The controls are very responsive, and I still can't play it worth a darn. I still love that game. Basically, the CD has 5 of my favorite games on it. It was a good buy for me. The next game on here, Paperboy. Delivering newspapers. Breaking windows so you don't have to. I love Paperboy in the arcade, and this one has all the sound effects, has the digitized speech and everything. All these games are basically almost arcade port perfect. Next game on here is one of my all-time favorite arcade games, Gauntlet. Yeah, wizard needs more food. And again, looks exactly like the arcade version. Can't say enough about this conversion on this CD here. If you like the arcade version of Gauntlet, you got a Sega Dreamcast. Besides for the Sega Genesis port, Gauntlet 4. Now this is the next best one. This was probably better than Gauntlet 4. Next game on here that I really love, Spy Hunter. Yeah, love that game. A little hard to use to controls because basically you use your analog stick, you push forward to speed up, and you pull the trigger button to shift gears from low to high. It's a little hard to control, a little bit. It's not too bad, I guess, once you get used to it. I got to play it some more. But yeah, classic Spy Hunter. Can't go wrong with that. And then one of my wife's favorite games, Rampage. You play a monster, knock down buildings, grab people out of windows and eat them. Have a real good time busting stuff up. Rampage is a really awesome arcade game. And again, this is just like the arcade version. They did a heck of a job porting this over to the Dreamcast. And then the very last game, which I can't play worth a darn, is 720. Skateboarding game. I can't play skateboarding games. I've tried. I'm terrible at these games. I can't do the tricks. I fall in the water. I get ran over. Have a heck of a time. But overall, you know, this is a pretty good CD to have. I don't have volumes number 1. That only has Defender, Sinistar, Defender 2, and Bubbles, I think, on there. And something else. Which really didn't really interest me. I'll pick it up if I find it cheap. But this one, since it had Gauntlet on there, I had to buy it. It was a no-brainer. So that's all the pickups for this week. So until next time, keep on gaming.